Next we have our Narrap Rangers, Eddie Mullins and Kristian Verden. So give them a big hand. I'll tell you about them. So Eddie Mullins is a proud Wurundjeri man and a long-serving ranger on the Narrap team. When he joined, there were 10. Today, there are 30 across the ranger and water programs. His dedication to caring for country runs deep, and his long tenure has made him a steady presence and knowledge holder within the team. His commitment reflects the heart of Narrap's work, traditional owners leading self-determined land management across Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung country, restoring landscapes that will sustain people, plants and animals for generations to come. Kristian has been part of the Narrap team for 4 years, with 3 of those as a crew leader. A lifelong nature lover, his early passion for animals, particularly reptiles, first drew him to the industry, but over time his focus has shifted towards the plants of Western Melbourne's grasslands. He thrives on the constant learning the work brings, whether from conversation with the industry veterans or difficult questions from trainees, who he takes particular pride in helping connect with country and watching as their skills develop. For Kristian, working on the Narrap team is a privilege, a chance to give back to the environment and the culture that has shaped this country for thousands of years. Please welcome again the Narrap Rangers, Eddie and Kristian.
All right, thank you, that was deadly. I'll start off. So who we are the Ranger program, the Narrap Ranger program. We focus on delivering country restoration and management work. Healing Country guides our program. Through our skilled and experienced team, the Ranger program embeds Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung country management principles and practice in natural resource management. The team manages Wurundjeri Cultural Heritage Aboriginal Corporation held properties, whilst also working with a mix of different clients, including...
Yeah, so we also work alongside state government agencies, water corporations, LGAs and non-profits, and also the private sector.
Which we've seen in the room today, a lot of yous here, deadly. Importantly, our Rangers programs includes Path for First Nations peoples to develop careers in environmental management.
The program is predominantly self-funded through our fee-for-service work, and our crew is up to roughly about 50 people now. We've got 30 on-ground crew consisting of crew leaders, trainees and rangers, and we've also got 11 management and project staff, with 11 also working in our water unit, which is part of the Narrap team as well.
I'll just give a quick shout out to Uncle Dave, because back in 2012, he started Narrap at the back of his own Holden Commodore with a couple brush cutters, about 2 or 3 crew, and now, where it is today, it's unbelievable, and shout out to him. I just love noting that, because it just shows how far we've come. Our key principles, all of country is important. Traditional owners and decision makers and leaders on country. First right to work on country, early engagement, people on country, knowledge sharing and experience building are some of our key principles there. As you can see, this is a map of Wurundjeri country, and all those small dots you can see there are all of our sites. Our depot is out west there, east, in Hillsville. We've got a shared depot out west that we have a small shared space with Whittlesea Council. And I'd say 50 plus sites out there with a huge range of diversity with rainforest out east to grasslands out west. Training. Yeah, so a lot of us out there today come through the Trust for Nature training program. That goes for, it's a 2-year course to obtain the Cert 3 Conservation Land Management certificate with 3 days on field, 2 days in class, or field trips. More training we do, we go through the GFF training, fire training with DEECA. And just network connection with other Indigenous ranger groups.
As you can see here, this is the list of our partners and clients that we have worked alongside on country. Not all of them are listed here, but this is just to give you an idea of the scale of our work across country and the amount of people that we have wanting to collaborate with us, which is a really positive sign for the future of traditional owner engagement on country. So today we're going to chat about our involvement in the Melbourne Strategic Assessment program and just do a little bit of a case study on a couple of the sites that we work on that incorporate different types of grassland. So just a bit of background on the MSA project. We signed on as a committee of management in October 2024 to manage some MSA parcels of land. That's partially thanks to the push from Uncle Sean Hunter. This was very new for Wurundjeri Corporation, and we're being supported through a multi-year funding agreement to support the management of these areas. It means for us that we're the designated land manager, similar to a local government would be for any of their sites, and we take care of and manage the whole site. And it enables us to lead the actual works on site and how country gets cared for, which is very important for self-determination. In the past 18 months, we have worked alongside many partners to develop our understanding of the site and help inform the sort of works that we'll be undertaking. We've worked alongside Zoos Victoria with Dr. Tian Chen, monitoring kangaroo health. As we'll go into later, Phalaris toxicity is a big issue on the site. For us, we've worked alongside ARI, Steve Sinclair, who was up here earlier, the Mirrm Barbar Suburban Parks Partnership, DEECA staff, Growling Grass Frog Program, the DEECA MSA teams, and the Parks Vic Western Grasslands team. So one of the most important aspects of when we take on a site is restoring a cultural name to the site. When they come over to us, they're given very generic, conservation area 31.1 decimal names. So we find that it's really helpful for our crew to restore a cultural name to the site. And we're just going to go into a little bit of that process. Typically starts with us working on the site for some time, developing an understanding of what values are there, what weeds are present, sort of the features of the landscape, and just sort of a general sense of familiarity. We'll arrange some on-country days with Woi-wurrung elders and discuss tap on their knowledge for the cultural significance of the aspects of the site and the features present there. We'll get together as a crew after that, and we'll sort of discuss the values present to us, what we like about the site. So in the instance of this site pictured here is Mirrm boolok, and it's called that because Mirrm means kangaroo and boolok means many. So there's many kangaroos there, and that's because of the encroaching development has forced them to form a big super mob there. And it's basically one of the last sort of areas that they can, persist without too much interaction with people. So that was what we had decided was one of the main values of the site. But prior to that, we're generating a word map of all the suggestions. We're working alongside Education Unit and elders to look for traditional names for any of those words that came up in sort of our initial discussion of those values. And then we create a short list with Wurundjeri team members, and then the entire Narrap team gets to vote on what they like the best. And then Wurundjeri elders will then assess the naming through a more formal process, and if approved, it gets officially named. Oop. Yeah, so diving a little bit further into Mirrm boolok as a site, it's a large plains grassland site with stony knolls present throughout the site. It's 110 hectares, which is probably our largest site, which poses a lot of unique challenges for Wurundjeri because we're working on a scale and with weeds that we haven't typically had to encounter before. A lot of the works are mainly sort of out east or more wooded environments. The stony knolls are sort of the main significant aspect of the landscape. You've got all the species present there, such as Themeda-dominated. You've got your spear grasses there, your wallaby grasses, and lots of interesting herbs as well. Dianella amina being one of particular importance. Another unique aspect of the site is there's brackish plains grassland and herbland complex as well, which means we get some really interesting unique species like deciduous, salt grass, and things such as Ranunculus diminutus, which is an endangered species as well on the site. And yeah, it's quite unique in that aspect. I'll pass off to Eddie to talk about some of the cultural values.
So yeah, some of the cultural values out there. So in the 110 hectares there, we got about 8 or 9 big stony rises. Those stony rises are really significant for Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people. Those locations were used to observe and navigate landscapes. Knolls at Mirrm boolok act as vantage points to the plains, used as campgrounds, which means they often have a lot of artefacts, and several of them have registered scatters on them. The roos out there, roos are a big food source for Wurundjeri, and sinew used from the tail of the kangaroo was used for binding tools. There's also a natural spring out there, which is a good fresh water source as well. I think that's it for the... And these are the photos. Yeah. Start right. So the beautiful sunset there, you can see was a picture taken after a burn we conducted there. I think the first burn we did about 2 years ago.
The next one's me with holding a lignituber, doing some of the woody weed management out there. The briar rose and boxthorn was pretty extensive across the entire site when we first took it over. It's one of the main issues there, spread by a large fox population on the site as well. So we're constantly finding their scats with briar rose seed throughout them, so they're keeping us busy out there. The next one on the bottom left is us working with Graham Lorimer. We were fortunate enough to have him come out to site and work alongside us to conduct just sort of grass species identification across the entire site. He was an incredibly valuable person to have out there, just helping improve and expand on our understanding of the species present on the site as well. Yeah.
And that last bottom right photo, which is one of the most important ones because we got Uncle Perry out there. So we do on country days with them and the research team.
Yeah, so this is a photo of just the types of works that we're conducting out there. The site's unique for us in that it's a plains grassland, but it's POA-dominated. So when we're applying cultural burns to it, we're finding that intersussex space is opening up and we're getting a lot of weeds come back. So a lot of the work out there is mainly knapsack spraying, artichoke thistle, serrated tussock, and Patterson's curse are some really extensive weeds across the site, and they're quite challenging for us to manage. But on the stony knolls, we're quite lucky because they're higher quality. We're able to take a more fine-tooth comb approach, and we can undertake knapsack spraying instead. We also have, unfortunately, African orchid present on the site. Luckily, not in any large numbers as of yet. We've just been finding small individuals that keep popping up, and we're trying to stay on top of those, and I think we're doing a good job thus far. Because of that, we have a very sort of particular hygiene practice that we have to undertake in terms of like sterilising our boots and our vehicles going in and out of there, especially when we're working in areas where we know we've found African orchid in the past. The photo on the bottom left is some of the Cunningham skinks sleeping in between the rocks on site. The crew have really connected with sort of the skink population there, and they've really gravitated towards them as a species that we want to sort of accommodate and protect through sort of the works we undertake on site. So it felt wrong not to include them. Yes, rubbish collection as well is a big issue on the site. A lot of these sites for a long time they weren't actually being managed, and so people felt that like they were at liberty to just dump there. So we have done a lot of rubbish collection and fence removal as well. A big part of sort of the connecting people with country again is tearing down those fences that historically excluded people from country. So it's very it's a simple job, but it's quite meaningful as well. Another site we work on is Kororoit Creek North Grassland. This is another unique site for Wurundjeri. It's a lot smaller, but it's one of the highest quality Themeda-dominated grassland sites that we work on, and there's multiple significant species present there. We've got striped legless lizard, we've got a quite substantial population of Pimelea spinescens there, and I think around 7 individuals of Senecio macrocarpus. You can see it pictured there. Yep. I'll pass over to Eddie.
Are we going to skip this one? I'll scrub that one out. If you want to skip that, and then because I'm going to talk about that in the next slide.
Yep. This one here.
So the cultural significance of this grassland. Grasslands historically made up a large portion of the Melbourne area, and were a rich source of plant species for Woi-wurrung people, both food and basket weaving. Grass seeds were harvested and ground into meals for damper and bread. Tubers from chocolate lilies and Mirrm were big source of carbohydrates, ground up or eaten whole after cooking over hot coals. Flax lily fibres used in weaving and cordage. These landscapes were almost exclusively managed by coal burning to promote the resource-rich environment that sustain the Wurrung people, with restoring fire within these landscapes, in a delicate balance with the native lizard population, is Wurundjeri's foremost goal in management of these sites. Applying fire to these landscapes, restoring connection, passing cultural practice, bringing health back to country and people. On the left here, we started igniting our fires with the traditional way, using the fire drill from the Pimelea and the fire base from the Xantharea, and fibres from messmate for those embers to start the fire. I think we got a little video. How long does this go for? I'll skip that. That's just a little video that that we done not long ago at Dulluk, which is the Blue Devil. Skip that, we don't have much time. Oh.
Yeah, Narrap is also recently started to develop, well, it's been a long time coming over the last couple of years, but we have established our own nursery where we're collecting seed from native species across Wurundjeri country, propagating them internally to sell to our partners and to the public as well, which we're now open for orders. So if you have any inquiries around that, you can email our staff member Jeff at narrapadmin@wurundjeri.com.au. Yeah. And thank you very much for listening. Give us a follow on Instagram at Narrap Rangers.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Right, we've got some momentum here, and it's just great to see so much grassy action and grassy love in one place. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Big, fantastic, and that's it.